Welcome to our first Filmmaker Film Watcher mini episode.
It's a premiere.
It is a premiere. Tell us why we're doing this, Greg.
Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that you and I have been reflecting on the fact that we normally talk about older films, anything to 5 to almost 95 years old.
Yeah, sometimes.
And we thought, let's try and be a little bit contemporary and maybe do a few films along the way in these mini-sodes that have just come out.
That's right.
That are fresh for everyone, not just for us. The bad news is I don't think we really need to wear these mini skirts for the episode, Ricardo, but look, it was your idea. I just do what I'm told.
So this is a precursor to our 5th season, which will be beginning shortly. But the film we've just seen tonight...
Yes, I'm still picking the popcorn out of my teeth.
Yes, is the opening night of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which maybe this is a good moment for me to give you a cue to tell us about the film, Ricardo.
Well, let's give it a go, hey?
No, you do it. I couldn't.
Like the first Deadpool, Deadpool and Wolverine begins with a hilarious opening credits fight sequence before settling in to the wild story to follow. Wade Wilson, Ryan Reynolds, has left his Deadpool days behind him, living a normal civilian life that is until his home world is threatened by a timeline gone wrong. The Time Variance Authority, TVA, recruits Deadpool to fix it, but Deadpool insists that he needs Wolverine's help, and together they embark on this wild multiverse adventure until they find the key to saving Deadpool's messed up timeline by defeating Cassandra Novo, Emma Corrin. This has so many cameos and funny breaking the fourth wall gags that only this character can pull off. For so many years, there's been fantastic banter between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman online on social media, and it seems that it's all built up to Deadpool and Wolverine. The characters are fantastic, and they are fantastic in their roles. Yes, the story has a tired, now overused multiverse narrative, but this is absolutely on purpose and is even made fun of. After the opening credits, I did find the film took its time to sort of get going, but once it did, it just didn't stop, with the action and comedy all happening through the bloodshed that just keeps going and going and going. The direction by Sean Levy and the cinematography by George Richmond, who also worked together on Free Guy, is great. And as is the production design. I thought that was really great too. So I really loved the first Deadpool. I got bored a bit with the second, but this one sort of brings it back to form. There were some really dramatic performance moments as well, which really gives the film some depth. It's really hard to weave this through comedy and action, so kudos to the team for being able to achieve that. Now, I hadn't watched all the X-Men films, so I'm really not sure if I picked up all the gags here, but even still, I did think it was a lot of fun. But without giving too much away, Greg, what are your thoughts?
There is a really big, sizable audience for this film, but I'm not really in it. I'm
really?
Sorry.
Right. Hang on a bit. Are you a Marvel fan or an X-Men fan? Have you?
I should declare my biases. So I'm a DC boy growing up.
Right.
So Batman, Superman, Flash, and so on. But I have seen almost all the Marvel films and enjoyed a lot of them. Not so much lately, but I don't think I'm alone in that. And I've watched quite a few of the Marvel TV series. So, for example, I know you haven't watched Loki, which is very much set around the Time Variance Authority. So there are a lot of things in that story that I could pick up on that you wouldn't.
That's right.
And I think that's true for the film in general. I mean, this film has got more Easter eggs than the
my goodness.
your Hypermart aisle in early April.
Once I watch the rest of the X-Men, I will go back. I mean, there's so much in here. There is so much.
There's almost not a moment where there isn't one, actually.
That's true.
And there are some really great cameos.
Yes.
And there are some brilliant moments. Like, I really didn't... I went into this really wanting to like it. Like you, I really liked the first one. Didn't like the second one so much. And went into this wanting to like it. As you say, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, what's not to like there?
They're both brilliant.
Well,
hang on a minute. Oh.
No, I love the opening fight.
Yes.
Very well staged, and I understood what was going on with the Time Variance Authority.
Yes.
Where all these soldiers were coming through these sort
Yeah,
of portals of golden light. I knew what that was all about.
I had no idea.
And the way it was choreographed to In Sync's Bye Bye Bye. I'd never realised before how violent those lyrics actually are. Because it seemed every time I kind of tuned into the lyrics, they were singing about something he was doing with knives and swords and whatever else. We kept seeing that. We kept seeing 80s, 90s songs used to choreograph fights.
Yes.
And where it really started to lose me, and I have to say that I had a couple of micro naps during the film.
What?
Well, it's night time, I'm tired.
Hang on, you
It's a school
what?
night. Yes, I did. That's why I said you had to write the synopsis, because I missed a couple of things, I think.
Really?
I got a bit bored when they went to the Void.
Oh, no.
At the start of the Void was great. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm pretty sure this is in the trailer. It's very, very Mad Max.
Yeah, oh yeah, but it's a reference that they even say Furiosa.
I know they do, but I kind of felt like I was seeing the same thing too often. And there's lots of really snappy, witty arch lines in there. Mm. They don't so much break the fourth wall as pretend it never exists and kind of, have atomized it.
Yeah.
So they're constantly talking to us. well, really mostly Ryan Reynolds, not just, but
that's right.
it's happening all the time.
He does.
And there are some brilliant moments. And one of my favourite moments, and again, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a cameo of someone playing a Wolverine variant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Which, when you find out who's playing that character, and it's a he, know what else he has done, it is brilliant. Like, it's inspired.
It is inspired.
So for me, it had a really good opening. It had moments of brilliance.
It does.
And then it had things where I just sort of, And, there's a fight scene where Wolverine and Deadpool are going through, gorily attacking a whole lot of people, including on the length of a school bus.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Well, I thought I was watching a video game.
Yes.
And that's not my territory.
Yeah.
So
those sequences are so violent. It's just literally just blood,
well, it's
gore,
it's cartoon.
blood on the windows and all the rest of it.
We saw the trailer.
It was cartoon, yes.
We saw the trailer for the new Alien film beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
And we both responded against that.
Very gruesome.
That's not what this is. It's not that territory.
No, it's not. It is comical and cartoonish.
Yeah, it's very cartoonish, and that's fine. And I felt the same way about the first, or maybe the second Suicide Squad film. Same kind of thing. I can go on that ride.
Yes.
But I just didn't feel like there was enough variation in the story and the way it was being told.
Oh, I thought there was a lot of variation in there. I thought it was fine. I thought it was very well handled and very well wove well together.
As our first minisode, I really want to like it, but I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it.
Okay, I had a good time.
I know you did. I was sitting behind you.
You were.
Would have been nice if you told me the seats had controls. I could have relaxed more, but then I might have slept through more of the film.
Just to say, the cinema we went to have these wonderful reclining seats.
We came in when the lights were down.
We did. Well, you put that in there. And so I just put the seat back, and I'm sitting.
And you've been to the cinema before.
I've been to the cinema.
Haven't.
That's right. So I'm reclined back. I've got my table next to me. It's
fantastic. Shut up.
And he just goes, I didn't even realise I could
until the lights came up at the end. Yeah, bit late.
But overall, I really loved it. I thought it was very good.
I can tell.
Yeah, I did. And I think it's going to get better. Once I watch it's going to get better with rewatches.
I actually think it's got the potential to date. I've been to see
Not
how
at
it goes
all.
in 5-10 years' time.
I don't think there's going to be a Deadpool 4. I think Ryan Reynolds has said that. It's a fitting sort of end to...
Well, I'm not convinced it's the end, actually. I'm not sure I agree with you there. Let's wait and see. This is very much a film that's made for the fanboys and girls.
Oh. If you are a fan of X-Men, Marvel...
in the same way that I think last year's...
You'll love it. You'll love it.
Last year's fairly maligned film of The Flash.
Yes.
And I say, I come more as a DC boy to these things, but that did a great job. I don't think it had quite the same sense of fun that this film has, but both films are really reaching out to those fan bases of varying ages. Like some of the references in The Flash go way back.
Yes.
To the 60s and beyond. And this is worth staying back for to watch during the credits. There's a very, very end sequence.
Yes.
Which they usually do in Marvel films that we won't spoil. But at the beginning during the credits, they show lots of behind the scenes off camera moments of all the early X-Men films and all the Marvel stuff since
It's
with different
actually
actors.
really nice.
It's a really nice tribute.
It is. It's like behind the scenes, and Hugh Jackman in his first talking about the
Looking
first time,
incredibly young.
really young in his first Wolverine role, saying how nervous he was and all the rest. It's really good actually.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, but I'm surprised about you talking about the performances because I don't think they faltered. I think both of them are they're almost iconic characters now because Wolverine is Wolverine, and that's absolutely Hugh Jackman. And Deadpool there's no other character like Deadpool, right? So, but they both do a brilliant job, and they both pull that character, their characters off.
I would say
really well. Okay,
I would say they.
when I say they both pull their characters off after I've watched Deadpool and Wolverine, it could mean something else, and it's where your brain goes with Ryan Reynolds with that character
and a not family friendly joke about Wolverine's mask.
That's right.
I tell you, his performance I particularly liked was Emma Corrin.
Oh, she was very good, actually.
No, so she plays the bad guy. I don't think we'll spoil anything. She's kind of channeling Tilda Swinton's Ancient One, I think the character's called a little bit. In look, at least.
Yes.
Maybe not so much in character.
No, I thought the same.
But she was very, very good. Won't say who she is, but she was very, very good. Some people might know her from playing Princess Di in, I think, seasons 3 and 4 of The Crown, which I haven't seen her in, but I really, really enjoyed her performance last year in a TV series called A Murder at the End of the World. I think she's a mighty fine actress. And for me, she was some of the highlights of the film in a dramatic sense. I mean, she didn't have a lot of comedy to do. There were some really...
Hang on a minute, you got bored and you nearly fell asleep during the void moments.
Yeah, before we got to her.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She prepped it up for me. And you know, there are some very good jokes there, like about studio logos in the middle of this wasteland where everything goes to die, basically, or after they've died. And there was a great little joke too, another cameo of where they meet the first superhero they meet in that place.
Yes.
And there's things in there which you know that the fanboy / girl has been hanging out for, like, you know, a battle between Wolverine and Saber.
Yeah.
Which Deadpool comments on.
I will say, we're trying very hard not to spoil a lot for you here.
Exactly.
There's characters that come into it which are such surprising, and they are awesome to see when they come in.
Particularly some from really early.
A while ago, yes.
And there's a splendid joke about one of the returning actors' personal life and their divorce.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
As well as a bit of a reference to Hugh Jackman's divorce as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're doing our very best to not spoil it for you. But, Greg...
What did you give it out of 10?
I'm asking you.
No.
I'm asking you first. No, I want to ask you first.
6.
What?
Yeah.
No, come on. No, it's an 8. It's an 8 for me.
All right.
I think
you are allowed to give it an 8 in the same way I'm allowed to give it a 6.
I know you're allowed to give it a 6, but that was better than a 6, right? It was better than a 6.
I wish the film had been much more at the level of the bits that were so brilliant.
I think you are going to want to revise your score once you've watched the other things and the other X-Men films, and you come back to it.
I've watched the X-Men films.
Have you all of them?
I told you. I hope our listener listens more to me than you do, obviously. But it's
you never saw Logan.
No, I just missed that one. It's one of those things. But the early characters who come back, without spoiling them,
yes.
I know about their films, but I haven't actually seen those very early ones.
Okay.
But everything since the kind of the new wave of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, I've pretty much seen them. Like Logan would be just one of those exceptions. I've seen all the Avenger films, all the Thor films, all the Hulk films.
I actually love...
all the Captain America, and most of the TV series.
I actually love Logan. I think it's a really good film.
So this is the first of what we hope is continuing, popping in on Minisode kind of thing. So we reckon we'll be repeating this exercise maybe every couple of months or so.
That's right. With a new film that's coming out, we'll see it opening up and then we'll review it. So I think the next one we'll see, I think we saw the trailer for it tonight,
yes.
So why don't we do that? It's going to be Beetlejuice.
No. Beetlejuice is what it's called.
Okay.
Beetlejuice 2.
Okay.
Keep up. So stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
I do just want to say one more thing about Deadpool and Wolverine, though. There's a special thrill for me, as a Melbourne guy, to see at the very end, in the closing credits, that a lot of the high-end special effects, CGI, are done here in Melbourne, as well as in South Australia, one of our sister states here in Australia. This is high-end, big-budget stuff.
Yeah.
and there was certainly an Australian presence there. Hugh Jackman, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, on at least 2 occasions, the music.
Yeah.
So we had an AC/DC song in The Void.
Yeah.
And we had Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta singing You're the One That I Want from Grease, while 2 of the characters are having a savage typically
fight.
bloody battle in the middle of a not a high-end kind of car while that was going on. Now, Olivia Newton-John died either side of 6-12 months ago. And I have to say, during that scene, I was thinking she would have known Hugh Jackman and vice versa. I wonder what she would... I think she would have been quite tickled. But I sat there thinking, I wonder what our Livy would think about that. Anyway.
So thank you so much for listening. And subscribe, like us, comment on socials.
Yeah, all that stuff you're supposed to do.
All that stuff you're supposed to do. And thank you so much. And we'll see you for season 5 in the next mini episode.
Ciao.